And here we are again. I'm Stephen Carlson. This is Working from the Heart, and today's topic is My Work Feels Personal. Now, of course, it might seem obvious that the work feels personal, but there's a phrase that we use that applies here. It's that sense of getting in the way of yourself. In my experience, and also in the experience of people I've worked with, many, uh, the more that I put myself into my work, the less comes out. And what I mean by that really is investing in an identity, a sense of self from my work. A word that comes to mind is inhibited. The more the work feels like it's about me, the more inhibited I feel. It's Think of how it feels to listen to yourself on a recording or go back and watch yourself in a video. Some of the most famous and most successful actors in the world confess that they never watch their own films. And that's because if there's any sense of self in this, it really just becomes restricting. So we're going to play with that, explore that, and see what happens as we start to look beyond that sense of identity, identification with our work. So if you're ready, take a breath, allow things to settle, and allow yourself to be. And think about your work, how you engage with the world. Doesn't have to be how you make money necessarily, but certainly how you engage with others, your work. Notice what happens when you think about that as your work. Notice how personal it seems. It's the sense that, well, what will others think? How do you want them to see you? And of course, the mind will then present you with horrifying scenarios of humiliation and disappointment. That's one side of the scale. Or the other side is ego inflation, pride, right? I'm the best, etc., etc. Putting yourself into your work, getting tripped up with ego identity in your work. Notice how this feels, how this comes up, how this expresses in this moment. Notice any kind of stories, beliefs, and maybe images and sounds, or simply sensations in the body. And then notice that you want to do something about this. Notice any sense that this is not okay to feel this way. Any constriction in the body, any undesirable element of this, just notice. All of this is part and parcel of resistance. So allow yourself to resist how it feels when your work is so deeply personal. Notice how it feels. And just for now, give it permission to feel that way, since it feels like that anyway. And then, could you simply allow all of this to melt? Just relax inside a little bit and just allow this all to fade. And let go as best you can, just for now. If you could, would you? And when? So then, another element of all this, of course, if your work is about you, then doesn't all this have to do with your survival on the planet? I mean, you have to work. Each and every one of us has to live by the sweat of our brow, right? And so, if your work isn't good enough, if people don't want it or like it, then you might go hungry. Or even worse. Because, of course, this is really all about the fear of dying. So just notice how your sense of work, my work, how personal it feels, is all tied into sink or swim, survival. And allow that to feel as it feels, just as best you can. Turn towards it with curiosity. It's here anyway. So just for now, can it be like this, since it's like that anyway? And then, let it be okay to want this to be different, because resistance is a natural part of this. So if that comes up, if there's any desire to change this, control this, make this different, could that be welcome? Right here, right now, just for now. Just open into that as best you can. And then, could you let this go? Would you let this go? And when? Now, of course, if your work feels personal, if it's tied up with a sense of identity, if you're concerned about the approval or disapproval of others, and of course yourself, if it feels like sink or swim, a matter of survival, life or death, then wouldn't it be natural to want to control all of this? And notice what comes up when that feels true. Notice any thoughts or beliefs, stories, images, sounds. Notice any sensations in the body. The body reacts. Some people are more oriented towards sensation in the body. This one here is. Other people tend to live in the world of thoughts. Others would be more focused on emotions. So just notice what comes up strongly for you in that sense of wanting to control your work. And again, could you just give it permission, since it's here anyway, all that you feel? And notice also how much you want to change this. Check also for any judgments, because, you really shouldn't, or you really should. So notice how personal your work seems to feel. And just allow it like that, since that's what's here. But then, if you're willing, let's take one further step towards freedom. All you need to do is just see what's true for yourself here. So check and see. Is any of this you? Are you these thoughts? Or are you that which is aware of thoughts? Are you these sensations in the body? Or are you that which is aware of all sensation? Are you these stories, these beliefs? Or are you that which is aware of all stories, all beliefs, just as best you can? Could you simply rest as what you are and allow all to be as it is, just for now? And so we find ourselves at the heart of awareness, and the core of who and what we are. And notice what is. And we can explore a little further as well. Could you be open to the possibility that you are guided by the power that knows the way? Could you be open to your own natural courage? And could you also notice gratitude, a natural response to the recognition of this? And just allow yourself to rest as this for a moment. And finally, just for fun, just to play, just to see what happens, picture your work, your career, your job, how it is you engage with the world, whatever it is you call work. And could you just surrender that? Could you let go and allow that to be? Would you? Are you willing? Do you dare? When? So that's it for today. Of course, you can always replay this recording to get more and more out of it. Until next time.